Hi, here I am again. This is The World According to Steph, Spiritual Foundations 3. I'm not feeling real well right now, and there's a reason for it. Um, I've never really talked about what is physically wrong with me, but I'm going to today. So that if anyone watches this, they'll know. I'm not going to tell the whole story. That'll be in my book. I'm going to say what the minimum of what I can. My neck was broken when I was just turned 18 years old by my first husband. We were married for 3 weeks. Now, some people would be angry or want to do harm to that person, but I'll be honest, it took me many years to really let go of it, and now I pay a permanent, well, it might not be permanent, and I'll get into that in possibly in this one or maybe another YouTube. Anyway, that's one of the things that happened to me. There were some things that happened to me as a child, which I choose not to reveal at this time. In fact, I did reveal them to a neighbor's mother, and it was so difficult for her to hear it, she literally had to leave my home. Now that's sad. Either she didn't believe me, or it was, like I said, too difficult for her to encompass the concept that a child could be hurt severely and be alright. I wasn't alright for many years in many ways. I want you to remember that. Something wonderful happened to me almost 20 years ago. Anyway, so at the age of 18, 3 weeks after my first marriage, my husband beat me horrendously. And then he kept me a POW, that's what I call it, prisoner of war, because it was a war. It was a war for me to survive, and I did. And I used to think that it was me. Now I know that it was my Creator who was actually protecting me and giving me the strength that I needed to get through it each day. And believe me, it was one day at a time. This man would threaten to cut my head off every single night. He would beat me almost every single day. I was not allowed to see my family. I was kept locked up as a prisoner in his home, his parents' home, or his mother's home, for about 6 months. His mother was scared to death of him, so it's understandable if after you saw what he did to me, and not just me, he hurt a lot of people. Did I know he was like this before I married him? To some degree, but I never imagined that he was that bad. Nor, here's a fallacy that young women and even older women seem to think, oh, they'll change. No, they don't change. Something very traumatic or dramatic must happen to them for them to change. I hate to tell you, but I had no power to change this man. None. Um, why didn't I put him in jail? This was many years ago. They didn't have the same domestic laws they have today. All right? I didn't have the protection of the police. In fact, a lot of times the police would actually say, what is it you did to cause this? Like I did something. In this case, I didn't do anything. Not a thing. Now, in other cases I might have, but not in this case. Okay, well, so the neck got broken. Now my spinal cord remained okay, or somewhat okay. And we believe the reason for that is because I was probably I was very athletic, and I was in really good physical shape to some degree. Once you read my book, when I finish it, then you'll know the whole story. Okay, my back always hurt. My daughter, who was here just recently, and I put her on Google Plus, all the pictures of her, she told me one time a few years back, she said, Mom, I never remember you not complaining about your back hurting. My daughter is 33 years old. She never remembers me not complaining. I don't think about it. I haven't thought about it. I did when she said that, but I never thought about it before. I didn't realize that I had even been making any statements, but I had. When I was about 40, to be honest with you, I got into a physical fight with somebody, and it was out in my front yard. I started it, by the way. Yep, little old me. I thought I was a wild woman and that nothing could hurt me. I was not in my right mind. I was angry with life. Oh, was I angry. I think I probably hated everyone except for my own children. They were the people in my life that I truly loved more than anything in this world. So, at any rate, this person that I got into some kind of I can't speak, forgive me, but who I have an issue with. I never met this person. Never. I started it. They didn't do anything. It was at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? It was Labor Day weekend. I was out partying. Not my oldest, but my son, Matt, who has passed away now. He is an Army hero, and he really is. But he's a hero to me, way beyond the Army. And that is going to be talked about in the book, too. He was in the house. He was about 17 at the time. And partying. They were used to partying. They had a partying mother. Okay. My boyfriend, who I later married at the time, was passed out in our bedroom. He didn't even know what was going on. So, at any rate, when I was 40 years old, I decided to create more chaos in the world. And this gentleman didn't do anything to me. He, in fact, was trying to help me. He could easily see that I was not in my right mind. And he didn't do anything. but I fell in my front yard, and I fell flat on my back. My feet just literally went out from under me, and I broke my lower back. Unimaginable. I believe that this gentleman carried me to my front porch, because when I came to, in the most horrible pain imaginable, I screamed out for my son, Matt, to call 911, because I knew that I was hurt. I knew it. So he did. And sure enough, I broke my lower back. So I had a broken neck. I had a broken lower back. Now, here's the next miracle. It didn't break my spinal cord. Although so much damage was done that my spine has deteriorated to a point where even the doctors are in super shock. They can't stop it. And I'm going to talk about that at some point, about miracle healing and all of that. I'm coming clean. I'm telling you about me, okay? This is who I used to be. I'm not that person anymore. Not at all. In fact, that was one of the things that was an eye-opener for me. It woke me up. Whoa, what am I doing? What am I teaching my children? It was downright scary. I almost lost my job over it. It was terrible. The whole situation was horrible. Anyway, after that happened, I went back to the doctor for follow-up visits. And frankly, I was not one to go to the doctor. I didn't like doctors. And I had had some pretty bad experiences with them. And I just really didn't want to be a part of it. I just wanted it to heal on its own, like some kind of dummy. Okay? I didn't have the spiritual beliefs that I have today. I was just a mixed up, very mixed up woman at the time. And I went to the doctor, and they took x-rays and all this stuff in the beginning before he was supposed to see me. The x-ray technician said, you're not healing the way you're supposed to heal. And I said, what do you mean by that? And she said, well, there's obviously serious problems. And I thought, okay, I'm going to be making my exit here. And then she said, do you realize that you have bone spurs all up and down your whole spine? And I said, no. What are those? How would I know? Well, bone spurs are exactly the way they sound. They're little bone nuggets that poke out. They're arthritis, but in my case, they were very severe. And she said, doesn't this bother you? And I said, well, if it does, I just probably ignore it, and which I did. That's probably what hurt all my life. And then I had a few more problems. A few years later, maybe 2 years, 3 years later, I was to the point where I could not stand up straight for more than 20 minutes without literally bending over like that. A friend of mine, one of my spiritual advisors, by the way, she was my first. She said, Steph, normal people aren't in that kind of pain. Their legs don't give out on them. You have something going on and you need to get it checked. Well, as I was saying, I hated doctors, so it took a lot of her on me about getting it taken care of for me to actually go to a doctor. And when I did, it took them 6 months to finally start doing MRIs. And when they did the first MRI, my regular doctor was in absolute shock. In fact, he asked me, how have you even been able to survive without any kind of drugs or anything? Amazing, isn't it? Well, I'm going to bring this one to a close, and I'm going to start a new one, and we're going to finish it up because, yes, I've had a lot wrong with me. Thank you if you're watching this.